me.
Alright, so today we are replacing the rear wheel bearings on a 2014 Subaru Outback. The first step we did was you go ahead and take the wheel off, 19mm lug nuts. Then you'll have this exposed. There's a big bolt on the end of here. We used a 1 1/4 inch socket on it. I'm pretty sure it's metric like everything else on this car. I don't know how many millimeters it is. You can go ahead and take that off, because what we want to do is we want to take this whole rotor off. Now the other thing that's in the way is the brake caliper. So to take the brake caliper off, there's two 14mm bolts we're going to go ahead and get on the back here. One here and one below. So we're going to go ahead and get those next. Alright, so then here's the rotor off. There's the brake caliper tied up. And now here we are. Alright, so now that we have this exposed, what we're doing next is there's 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. These come off. Their heads are in the back. Nuts! Their heads are back in here. And see, there's one. They're 14mm. The ones on these cars came loose really easy. So hopefully it's the same for you. We'll go ahead and take all 4 of those out next. Alright, so now that we got the 4 bolts off the back, we're going to throw this thing on, and we're going to try to hammer it off. Now in theory it all comes off in one piece. In reality it's not going to, so after this we're going to have to do some troubleshooting. But this is what's next. We were able to pull the whole piece off the CV axle here. We went ahead and set it up. We left this, I think this is an e-brake line, still attached. We went ahead and we set it up so that these pieces were up on the wooden blocks, and then one good whack with the hammer and it went ahead and just fell right out. Alright, so here's that new piece. We just pushed it on and then we tried to push it through, and you can use those bolts in the back. Where are they at? Those bolts to go ahead and try to tighten it up. It should be able to tighten up flush in there. So we're all set. Crank those bolts down good. This is now on. We're going to throw our rotor on, put our brake caliper on, put our axle nut back on, and this side's going to be all done. So here's that brake caliper reinstalled. Again, this is a 14mm. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten that axle nut back down. Alright, that nut at the end of the CV axle is reinstalled. Now we're going to go ahead and throw the tire on, and we can go ahead and drop the car.